well, what the heck was that? It's like my toe just didn't want to lift up. If you're having something like this happen for you and you've got Parkinson's, you're probably experiencing a thing that they have started to call foot drop. And what happens is that the foot simply doesn't rise fast enough to accommodate the movement. We're going to work on foot drop, and I'm really pleased to be able to bring this to you in a video. I had somebody write to me about a year ago when I put this on Facebook, and they were a YOPD person who was just beginning to experience a little bit of foot drop. Said they did the exercises in just a few days' time. The foot drop was barely noticeable. So there's hope. Okay, why am I not in the gym? I'm a master fitness trainer. Shouldn't I be in the gym in the glitzy clothes and the nice equipment? Well, you're not in the gym, and you're probably not in your glitzy clothes and your nice equipment either. And one of the things I really try and do is make this as easy as possible so you can move on with your life. So here we are in my living room with, again, some of my marvelous equipment. You're going to need a soup can or a can of vegetables inside of a sock that's knotted for this high-tech piece of equipment that we'll be using later. Now, shoes. I would really like you to do the first few exercises wearing shoes, but I'm not going to because I really want to exaggerate the foot movements so that you can see what we're doing here. Okay, we're going to do what I call clown shoes. Imagine your shoes are this long, just like those clowns. What you're going to do is put your heel down and slap the foot. There's no way around it. With those big shoes, you have to slap them down. And that's what I want you to do, is try and walk pretending like you're slapping them down. Or like when you were a kid and you wore the swim fins and you had to walk and you went ka-splat, ka-splat, ka-splat. Well, that's what you're going to do with clown shoes. So, heel, toe, heel, slap, heel, slap. Okay? What that's doing too, it's starting to make the brain think, starting to create a new synapse because you're stepping differently than you're used to doing without thinking about it. Heel walking, just like it sounds, you just walk on your heels, and because you're wearing nice soft shoes, you're not feeling the pain that I'm feeling. But this is an old trick that they use in track and field for people who run and get shin splints, and it's supposed to help. I don't know, it never helped mine, but at least I know how to heel walk, so that's about all that you really need. You're probably going to feel a lot of work having been done all the way up and down in here, and that's what we have to do, is get those muscles that are underused a little bit stronger in order to keep those toes up. We talked about going up and maybe tripping on curbs, tripping on steps, and it's because the foot doesn't get lifted in time. It's kind of lazy and it stumbles as you're going up. Because when you go to take a step, the foot is down like this, and then you lift and step. So it's like this, lift and step. Instead, what we're going to do is do the lift before we ever get there by practicing lifting the leg with a flexed foot. Remember, this is the flexed foot. The flexed foot. So we're going to lift, lift. As soon as the toes come off the ground, lift and flex. Lift and flex, lift and flex, lift and flex. That way, you're already in the right position if you go to stairs. Lift, lift. And again, you are doing something so different. You're tricking your body, you're tricking your brain into doing it differently, and you've created what they call a new synapse. Okay, now we're going to foot rock. You've seen me do this one before if you've seen my videos. And it's up on your toes, back on your heels. When you do this, you're going to come up, and when you go back on your heels, your fanny is going to kind of poke out, and you're going to lean forward so that we can accommodate that lift with the toes. And lift. This is starting to help balance out the legs. You're going to feel it tighten as you go up in the calf, and it'll tighten in front when you go back on your heels. We'll be stretching that out at the end too. Don't want to keep them good and tight. We want them strong, but we don't want them cramping either. Next, you're going to come over and you're going to sit on your tuffet or whatever you happen to have. You can do it in the lounge chair if you want to. And I'm going to do this exercise with both of these at the same time, just for our purposes, getting it done. And what that is I'm going to flex the feet, then I'm going to curl the toes and kind of relax it out. Flex, curl, and relax. Flex, curl, and relax. And like I said, you can do this with 1 foot or 2 feet. You can put the lounge chair flipper out from underneath your calves and support. You can do 1 foot supported with the knee on the other foot. But you get the idea. Pull, flex, and not point, just relax. Okay? Now comes the specialty equipment, and you're going to hook it between your big toe and the next toe, and that nice big knot is not going to go anywhere, and you can support underneath using the other leg. I want you to lift and drop. Lift, and when you drop, I don't want this. Let's see you control it down using the muscles as they're starting to elongate, really making them work while they elongate as they're trying to counterbalance that weight. And you'll want to do 8 or 10 on each side. Remember, people that use 8 generally have taken aerobic dance classes. People that use 10 count have generally had calisthenics. So we'll compromise at 9 on this foot. And 1. And 2. Not too fast down. You can even see that my foot is not used to doing this. It wants to shake. I think that's 3. And 4. And 5. Great, you have a counting class. 7. 8. 9, and if anybody ever told me that I would be out there in the airwaves on YouTube with a sock in my toes, I would have laughed them silly. We're going to stretch this out now, real easy. We're going to come forward and then take the step back, heel down, hold it there, oh you know, holding and holding. And then you're going to bend the back knee, keeping the heel down well. If you're so tight that that heel has to come up, then hold it where it's comfortable. Otherwise, try and keep it down. Front knee is going to automatically bend just so that it can help you position this leg. And up. Take a step back, heel down. That's the standard big stretch. Had a chiropractor say, but if you've got some problems in your lower legs, you want to make sure that you get that little bend in there. And stretch, and stretch, and stretch. We have one more stretch, and that stretch is going to be to stretch all of this out that we've been using, because we've really been shortening and tightening those muscles. What you're going to do is the back step again. Whoops. And put your heel down so that you're in a good balanced position here. You can see I've got my hand here just so I don't fall over. Come up, curl the toes. And if that's all that you can do, and that feels like a big stretch to you, go ahead. But otherwise, you can drop the toes by bending this knee just a little bit and hold it, and hold it, and hold it, and come forward. Your foot is probably going to want to try and cramp on that. If it's starting to cramp, just come forward, set it down, and do the stretch twice. Go back, get yourself balanced, put the toes down. If that's a good stretch, go ahead and stretch. Otherwise, go ahead and do a little more stretch, and stretch, and stretch, try and relax the leg. Step forward. Okay, remember, you can always find me on Facebook. Spell my name right. It's going to be at the end of the video. I have a lot of exercises. You can go to the notes and click that open. Some of them have videos. The most recent ones have videos, and the older ones most have photos. And if you open this, you're going to find photos as well. So, join me next week. Remember, I get these posted on YouTube on the weekends, and on the next Monday, that's when you're going to be able to just run me up and you can print these out. Thanks for joining me.